So as human beings, we've always wondered and tried to find ways how to realize that state of inner peace and how to realize our true nature, how to experience it and to get connected with this greater reality that we are part of, this divine nature. Now, in the yoga system, as Patanjali describes it, it's through 8 steps, the 8 limbs of yoga, that we can reach that state of being called Samadhi, in which we have developed such a deep state of awareness, a high consciousness level, that we realize what we truly are, we realize our connection with the higher self, and we realize what is this reality really in essence. So it's hard to describe it, it can be only kind of experience, but there is these ways towards it. As a human being, if we try to reach that state of feeling complete inner peace, like enlightenment, okay, and we just sit and we try to experience that, most of us, they will first feel and realize that there is constantly this chattering mind and the awareness goes all over the place. Maybe you sit still and you think like, I still have to do the dishes, or I still have to finish something of my work, and then from that thought you go to another thought and another thought and another thought, something about the future or the past, but always not here and now, not full awareness about what's here and now. Because what we try to develop is to merge, and this is what yoga means, to unite, to yoke your awareness, my awareness, with something greater than ourselves, with this higher super consciousness. So your consciousness, merging it, your awareness, with the present, with the now, with this reality, God, however one wants to call it. Okay, so that's the end stage of reaching that. But like I said, most of us, we have a mind that is constantly going somewhere else. So first, what we also have to develop is to train our mind to become able to be one-pointed concentration, to create stillness in the mind, to become able to, in that stillness, realize our true potential. Then we come to the 7th step. We're going to go from 8 to 1, and that is called Dhyana. Dhyana is like meditation. Dhyana is where you can sit and create that inner space of stillness, where the mind is completely still, where the awareness is sharp and focused just to what is happening here and now, so that you can start to let the awareness go deeper and deeper into the present moment and start to merge with reality as it is. Okay? Most of us, we will have to start to train the mind first to become focused, and this is called Dharana. Dharana becomes before Dhyana. This is the 6th step. In Dharana, and you can do that through focusing on either the breath or doing what is called a vipassana meditation, to start to scan through the body, scanning to what is happening now, or focusing on a mantra or visualizing something. But through a certain object, you focus the mind onto one point, so that when eventually the mind becomes focused and one-pointed, you can start to let go of the concentration, and the mind is completely still and the awareness is just on one point. Okay, so Dharana is with willpower and focus, concentrating. And dhyana is letting go of the concentration and just meditating. And if we can stay in that meditative state, we reach that state of super consciousness, enlightenment. Okay. So then we have to bring our awareness really within, and this is the fifth step. So instead of sitting and having a mind that is maybe constantly busy, you hear a certain sound here and you think, oh, what's that? Oh, there's a door going, or oh, there's a bird, or I hear something in the bushes, that's a snake, or whatever it is. That your awareness can go fully within. Instead of being constantly busy with the objects around you and busy with the future or the past, you start to bring it within. This is called Pratyahara. Now, to start to center the awareness and start to focus the mind and the other systems in the body, this is kind of difficult to do. But with our breathing, we can start to control all the other systems in the body. Let me explain that a bit. It's really hard, for instance, to control your heart rate. You cannot sit and think, now I'm going to bring my heart rate up, now I'm going to bring it down. Okay? You can't think, I'm going to now bring my blood pressure up or down, or your endocrine system, the hormones that are being secreted, like relaxing hormones or more activating hormones or something like that, or your digestive system. These are all different systems in the body that you cannot control, just most of us at least, unless you're very far progressed, you cannot control just by the mind. With your breathing, however, you can control those. So for instance, with some very activating strong breaths, I can start to release things like adrenaline from my system, or I can start to, with, for instance, Bhastrika, activate the digestive system, or I can, on a more subtle level, on a more fine level, start to control also my nervous system and the energy system, the pranic system, on a more fine level. So through breathing, I can connect with all these systems in the body, and for instance, with very, very slow, calm, centering breathing, there's many different breathing practices, I can start to harmonize and balance also very much the mind, which is also an energy system within the framework of our being. So the mind is very hard to control, but with the breathing, we can start to control the mind, the nervous system, and all the systems in the body. All right. So through this calm breathing, I can bring myself into a state where I can fully go within, where I can start to focus, meditate, and go into that state of realization of the true self. Okay. However, let's go another step back. Most of us, when we're sitting, we try to control our breath, but it's really hard to control the different muscles of the breathing. And furthermore, we feel a constant agitation, and we feel, I have a backache here and this ache there, and doesn't feel open, doesn't feel stretched out. It all feels really tight, the body and also the mind. So we have to start stretching out and strengthening out this whole physical framework as well. Not just physical, we are both a physical body, but also there's energy flowing through the body, and we want to open up this whole energy system as well. Okay, try to follow. Okay, so through asana practice, all these postures that we're doing, we start to open up, to stretch out, to make the body strong and healthy, to be able to sit still and to learn to, without thinking of how you sit or how this, you don't have to think about your body anymore. You can start to focus on the breath, start to learn to work with the mind and the awareness to go deeper within. Okay. Now in the West, we are very focused on just the physical body. And this asana practice is kind of the only focus that is in most of the yoga studios, and it's all about stretching and strengthening, and look at how flexible and healthy I have become. And it can build up a lot of ego. what we should not forget, and that's what I try to emphasize, and I'm gonna emphasize a lot in all the teachings that I'm gonna do, is that this is just a short step in yoga, this asana practice. Asana practice is just a preparation to become able to become still and start to work with the breath and the mind. And that's why I also emphasize a lot how to see if how well your yoga practice is going is not by looking at how difficult the poses are that you can do or something, or how far you can stretch, because a gymnast or a ballet dancer can do all these poses already, but is not an enlightened person. You can check how well your progress is going, how long you can sit still, how you can focus the mind, use the breath, and you can realize its divine inner peace within. I've met a lot of people who've done yoga for many, many years, decades even, but ask them to sit still for half an hour or an hour. Whew, having a very, very hard time with that. Because otherwise, if we don't develop that as well, we still go through life with that same restlessness. We've opened up all the energy systems, a lot of energy after doing the stretches and strong power yoga poses and all these things. But still that restlessness we carry into our daily life, and we have not realized that there is more to ourselves than just this physical body of muscle and bones and blood flow and nervous system. In asana practice, we also develop the ability to not just control our physical body, but also to start to control our mind a bit more. When we hold poses for longer periods of time, sometimes our mind doesn't like to be held still, and we feel this resistance, and we feel our mind goes everywhere. But we learn to tame the mind and be like, no, you're gonna stay, you're gonna wait, you're gonna just be still. And like that, we start to not just train our physical body, but also our mental body. Also, we develop the practice of Pratyahara, where we bring the awareness within. So if we hold a certain pose for longer periods of time, and that's also important in your yoga practice, learn to not just jump from one pose to the other, but learn to stay still for long periods of time in poses, and then bring the awareness within and realize, now I feel I have a little bit of a tension here, a little bit of tension there. I start to open up, use the breath, and like that start to create space and awareness within. Then the first two steps. So let's say you want to sit still, you have opened up your body and everything is flexible and strong. But if you have not also looked at if you're living in the right ways, this Yama and Niyama, the first two steps, then that's also not really gonna help in your practice. So for instance, if you've just been on a Ben & Jerry's diet or a pizza diet or something, and everything is blocked and the energy can't flow right, and your health is not in optimum state, then it's really hard to concentrate and relax. Or if you've just been cheating other people or hurting other people, or maybe you're an arms dealer and you've been selling weapons and you know innocent people are gonna be killed or something like that, right? And then you sit still and your mind is probably just gonna go with the feeling of the lie or shame or whatever the state there is. So that's why we also want to make the foundation of our living correct. And that's why in the first step, this Yama, it's like the golden rule: don't do unto others what you don't want to be done unto yourself. Don't lie, don't steal, don't harm other beings, staying pure and kind, live with integrity. Then also the second step is Niyama, where you create kind of self-discipline and cleanliness a routine for yourself every day where you spend some time on meditation, where you create before eating food, for instance, a little moment of gratitude, of thankfulness, where you start to almost kind of wire your brain with little things and routines in your daily life to start to connect with this higher self. Realize that this reality that you are part of, a lot of things are there to be grateful for and to experience this greater reality and not just be focused with your own mind and egotism and selfishness. Okay? So friends, hopefully you can start to use this wonderful practice to go into a state of expanding your consciousness. What that means is that you're not just only busy with your own life, with your own self and your own layer of my problems and my emotions and my mind, but that you start to expand your consciousness and realize you are more than just this and all these layers of the self that are maybe constantly in conflict, and you start to balance everything out and realize your divine true nature within. Okay, enjoy your practice. May we all be blessed with peace, love, and happiness and realization. Namaste.